So the topic we're covering in today's video is going to be creating the client journey. And the reason why this is important is because we need to know, how are we going to get a stranger who doesn't know who we are to pay us thousands of dollars for our services? So let's jump right into it. Creating a client journey. How are we going to get somebody that doesn't know who we are, that's a complete stranger, to become a client? What does that process look like for your coaching program? How do we take somebody that doesn't know who we are and we get them to pay us thousands of dollars to teach them something? That's exactly what your client journey is, from A to Z. And there's 5 steps that I'm going to be covering in the video. Now, why do we need to map out a client journey? The reason why we do this is to gain more clarity. We can understand from A to Z how we bring somebody from in the program to getting them a result. We can actually see everything in front of us. That's going to help us understand our process and also make us realize where we might need to be making changes. That's exactly why you want to map out the client journey. And it's a fun process to do, because when you have that clarity, even when it comes down to like making content or just explaining something to somebody, you understand your business in and out much better, and there's no guessing. So there's 5 parts to a client journey. First one is going to be leads. Second one is lead nurture. The third one is conversion. Fourth is client success. And the last one is retention. Now, a lot of programs don't actually have retention. That's something that you want to think about just adding on the end. So it's basically just a bump or something else that you sell on the back end. So I'm going to go over these briefly in the video so that you can get a better idea of how to do it. You can either pause the video and we could do it together, or you can, take some time and start writing this out. The more specific and more details you can add, the better. So the first one is going to be leads. How do we get the leads? Now, the way you get leads for your coaching program might not necessarily be the same way that you're going to teach your clients. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I work with real estate coaches, and in most of their programs, they're teaching their clients how to get, leads through traditional real estate marketing. They do it through cold calling, they buy lists, they door knock, they're driving for dollars, they're sending out mailers and postcards, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way they teach it. But when you're running a coaching program, your leads you're getting differently because you're using more social media, email marketing. It's a different way of marketing. Now, we use what's called the social funnel. This is how I get my clients, and this is what I teach real estate coaches to use as well. This can also work for agents, wholesalers, flippers, investors. It's just a newer method where we're using ads and content. Now, here's how it works. For me, in my process, I'm going to start to show you my map. At the very top, I have ads, right? I'm running anywhere from 2 to 3 different ads, and everything is done on Instagram, right? So here I'm going to start mapping it out. The ads on the very top, all ads running on Instagram. How much am I going to be spending per day? So if you're going to be running ads, write down your budget. So if I'm running 3 ads, it'll be anywhere from $20 to $30 a day. Now, these ads, to get even more specific, we're running profile visit ads on Instagram. And all this means is that I'm running an ad and I'm not selling anything. I'm just giving pure value. And my call to action is just to visit my profile. I'm not sending them to a landing page. I'm not sending them, telling them to DM me or send me a message. I am a stranger in their eyes. So I want them to just come in and look at my profile. These ads are also much cheaper when you run them, and you want to start with a small budget, and then you can increase as you see them working. They come in through the ad, they find my profile, they see my page, they understand what it is that I do, and they're going to start to look at my content. So now, this is also how I'm going to help get leads. They're going to watch my content, so I need to be posting content constantly. And I'm doing that by posting 1 reel a day, right? So you also want to map out how much content are you going to be putting out? What is the content going to look like? How are you going to film the content? What are you going to be talking about? The more specific, the better. This way you have a better understanding. Now, what is the point of the ads? They're coming in through the ad. They're looking at my profile. They're checking out the content. I'm just trying to get them to follow me. That's the main point. A follower to me is a lead. Now, once they come in and they become a follower, the second part is lead nurture. What's going to happen between them finding me through the ad and them getting on a phone call? What happens in between? So in this part, I'm trying to give more value. I'm trying to inform the prospects and help them more. And I'm building trust because remember, I'm just a stranger that they just found from an ad. So some of the different ways that we nurture the followers are retargeting ads. If you're not familiar with that, all that means is if somebody followed, somebody engaged with your post, they liked it, they commented, or somebody messaged you, now they're going to be hit with another ad that they'll see daily just to your followers. And all this does is just builds more trust and it puts you in front of them every single day. Now, when you do that, for me, I set aside 5% or 10% of my ad spending budget. It's that, you don't have to spend a ton of money because they're already your followers. The other thing you want to think about is long form content. So for me and my strategy, I'm doing one YouTube video per week. And the reason why this nurtures really well is because think of, Instagram as like the highlight or the trailer of a movie. They get a snippet. But when they see your YouTube page, that's the actual movie. They're spending more time with you. They're seeing the story unfold and they're getting a better understanding how you can actually help them. So YouTube is super, super important in the strategy. Now, VSL, that's a video sales letter, which, it explains more of the process. It's a little bit more salesy. You can also have one of those as well. And you can think about how you want to send it to them. You want to set up a landing page, or you can actually make a VSL, put it on your YouTube, and you can either, have it listed or unlisted. And this is something that you can send to your, within the messages as you're speaking to prospects in the DMs, you can send them this video for more information. The other thing we want to do is IG stories. These are very, very important because a lot of times your followers are not going to be seeing your content. If you look at a lot of your data, most of the people that are watching are not your followers. In order to get in their face every day, besides the retargeting ads, you can also be doing stories. Now, you want to be doing about 3 to 5 of these per day. And in the stories, you want to do different things. You want to, kind of treat it like a vlog, show what you're doing throughout the day, what you're working on, where you go. This also helps them trust you more because now they're seeing who you are. The other thing you want to do is ask questions. You want to ask, take polls. The people that are responding to these are potentially warm clients that you can, warm prospects that you can reach out to. So doing 3 to 5 of these per day, and also you can give value. So let's say you posted a video and you want to expand a little bit more. You can actually talk about it in person or just text within the story. And the main purpose of the lead nurture process is we're trying to get a message, whether they're going to message us or we message them. Now, once we're in the messages, that's the part where we're going to convert them, right? So a lot of the conversion is happening in the DM inside Instagram. So what is that process going to look like when I convert the leads? So after you've already messaged them, what is that conversation like? What is the opening line that you're actually going to use? What's the DM script you'll be using for the entire conversation? Make sure that you have your script intact and you know exactly what you're going to be saying. Now, I'm going to be making another video about my DM script, but for now, I'll just give you a general overview of what it needs to look like. You have 4 different things: appear, connect, qualify, and convert. Appear is just your opening line. How are you going to get the conversation started? Connect, figure out a way to connect with them. Qualify, you want to ask specific questions to see if they're a good fit for your program. Just because you're having a conversation or they're following you, they might not be ready, they may not have the money, or they might just not be a good fit for the program at all. Now, once you've qualified them and they seem like a good candidate, then we want to convert them. How do we convert them? How do we get them on a sales call? So you want to think about even down to your calendar on how you're going to book these calls, right? What are you going to be using for a calendar link? I use Calendly. There's automations. It's a very cheap service. It keeps everything organized. Has a lot of triggers that I can send out emails and reminders. So you want to figure out what you're going to be using for your calendar. What days are you going to be taking your sales calls? What times are you taking the sales calls? And then what questions are you going to ask somebody if they book on your calendar? Once somebody hits on the date and they hit the time, there's a form that they can fill out. The more questions you have on there, the more friction you're going to have. The less questions, less friction. But you may have less qualified people if you don't ask any questions. So you need to find that balance. If you want to take more sales calls and you want to get better at sales, then you want to actually put less questions so that you can get those reps in. If you have it down to a system and you're getting a lot of leads and you don't want to waste your time with unqualified people, then you would put more friction and add more questions to qualify them. So now they booked the call. What is going to happen after they book that call, right? So we call this the pre-call sequence. Are they going to get emails? How many emails? Do they get text reminders? Are they going to watch a video? Are you sending them videos? Are they going to see testimonials? What is happening from the time they book the call to when they actually jump on the call with you? This is a very sweet spot because you're able to inform them and give them more information and prepare them for what's to come. So the video can be more about your program, or the video can literally just be what they're going to expect when they get on the call with you. So again, you can do that through a video. You can send them emails or text reminders. You can send them testimonials for more social proof. Now, the good thing about this map is that you can actually show what you're currently doing, and you can also do what you plan to do. So you can actually use this map as more of like a to-do list. So make sure you're mapping every single part out, everything that you're doing, everything you want to do, so that we see it right in front of us. Now, you got them on the call, you sold them, and they just paid you. Now they're a client. The fourth part is client success. Most people map out the client journey for the first three that we just covered. How they get their leads, how they do the lead nurture, the conversion, but they don't plan out what it's going to look like once somebody already paid and they came into their community or their program. So list out everything from your onboarding to the results or the outcome that they're going to expect. So onboarding, like literally just step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So step 1, are they getting a Slack invite? Are you using Telegram? Are you just using text message? What is the way you're going to communicate with them? Step 2, once they've entered, do they get anything? Are they getting an email saying, thank you? Are they getting a voice note? Are they getting a video? You can use Loom. This is exactly what I'm using here. This is Loom. What are you sending them once they come into the program? Then what expectations or roadmap do you have for them? This is kind of like your syllabus. Like, what can they expect once they've joined for the next, few months or few weeks that you have them in the program? And then the last part is, are you doing a contract? Is there no contract? What does the contract look like? Are you sending it on the sales call? Are you sending it afterwards? All these things you want to think about. Then your actual program itself, or the community. How long is it going to be? Is it going to be 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks? Then you want to think about, what does every week look like, right? So you can either do this weekly or monthly, and you can say, okay, week 1 is going to be this. Week 2 is going to be this. Or this month, we'll take care of this. The second month, we'll cover this. You need to map out exactly what that's going to look like. And this is also something that you can send to your clients so they have a better understanding. Now, what I touched on earlier in the video was the retention. With the retention, we're trying to basically upsell them to the next part of your program. If you're going to do that towards the last couple of weeks of your program, you need to be thinking about what that process is going to look like. How are you going to have that conversation with them? Is it going to be a call? Is it a Zoom call? What's going to be the script? Are they getting a voice message? What does that actually look like when you speak to them to get them into the second part of your program? And then the last part is going to be the retention. So what script are you going to be using to get them to re-sign? hey, Rick, I see you've gotten some great results and we've been building for a few months now. I know that we talked about planning for the next few years and thinking long term. Are you wanting to stay on board for another 16 weeks? I just wanted to get your thoughts. It could be something as simple as that, or you think about how you want to explain it or talk to them about it. Now, what does the retention part look like? What kind of result can they expect now on the second part? How long is it going to be for? Is it another 8 weeks? Is it another 16 weeks? So, for an example, your first 16 weeks, you helped them to get to, let's say, $10,000 a month. Now, you're going to help them to get to $30,000 a month in the next 16 weeks. So, again, these are the 5 steps of the client journey. The more specific, the better. You can map this out. This is your entire business from A to Z, how we're getting people in the door and how we're getting people results. So take your time with this, have some fun, put all the details in, and map it out.